Alright, BobalosRex here, and in today's video, I'm going to talk about how I would fix delves. Blizzard is doing all these adjustments. I want to get out a video that says how I would fix delves, how I want delves fixed. Basically, I'm putting in a Blizzard bug report, whatever. That's what this video is. What do I want to fix? So let's start off with the system as a whole. What parts do I want fixed? The class disparity. Okay? Interrupts being required, defensives being required. There's huge discrepancy in classes, and I think Bran can be used to fix that. You know, pet classes have it easy. One of the things about mobs that cast spells is it looks like they'll randomly target, so they'll hop around your minions. So if you have a pet class, you're taking less spell damage just for that, you know. So the class disparity is a big problem, and I feel like they can solve it by doing adjustments to Bran and Curios. Alright? And one of the main things I have an issue with the system is the item level balancing. Okay? So let's think about this, right? So 3s at the end give 554s. Okay, you're getting 554s from all of these. You get even more than 554 from this one. Alright, I have my big delve video that talks about the specific item levels, but here's where I want to get to. So for a tier 8, it says requires item level 600. What drops at the end of a tier 8? 603. What drops at the end of a 7? It's like a 593. It's like, why is this tuned for the item level that it drops? Is normal raid tuned for the item level it drops? That doesn't make any sense. Is heroic raid tuned to heroic item level? No, it shouldn't be. Why is this tuned for the item level that it drops? I think, at least in these item levels, 8, 9, and 10, and 11, these all need to be rolled back one. You know, this should be 590. This should be 600. This should be 610, and this should be 620. That's my opinion, because it's based off of what you can get out of delves. Not M+, not raid, delves. Okay? That's what I would fix. Alright? Next up, delves themselves. Zekvir and the rares are pretty imbalanced, especially with the depending on the class, and do you have interrupts, and how many stuns do you have? Do you have some pets? Are you a tank? You know, all that kind of stuff. What armor are you wearing? So they did have a hotfix today that adjusted rares, so maybe those will be better, but the Zekvir ones are freaking crazy in that mushroom. Alright? I also don't like how how they make things difficult is just inflate mob health and inflate mob damage. It's not making any of the mechanics harder. The bosses aren't harder, they just, oh, that mechanic one-shots me. You know, and if it's unavoidable, like the big swarm that the big guys do that you have to outrange, you're just like, hopefully I can make it out of range in time before it, like, and I'm dead. You know? And that thing is huge. Does not show you how big it is in the animation. And then they fixed it today, but how much caster mobs spam casting? Oh my god, the thread weavers, but they nerfed them today. Oh man, those guys. They're still bad, but it just goes to show you, interrupt class and stunning classes do better. I think melee have an advantage in my opinion. I'm going to talk about that here in the Bran section, which we're on now. Now for Bran. What would I fix about Bran? 1, he needs a buff. 2, the Curios are extremely imbalanced to me. Right? Like, you're really either, if you're melee, you're using Final Will. If you need healing, you're using Earth Mother. This one basically kills Bran. Straight up. I see also people using these. It's like these three. And then for this one, everyone uses Amorphous. Literally everyone uses them. I've never seen someone use something other than Amorphous. Maybe that? I've never seen anyone use anything other than Amorphous. And right now, healer seems good versus damage, depending on your class. And I've done a lot. I've done a lot of delves. Here, look at how many delves. This is my delve credentials. I've done a lot. Bran is RNG with his interrupts. They really need to fix that. They may just want to let him interrupt as much as he can again. Like, the only issue would be Zekfir, and the only classes that would benefit from the Zekfir interrupt are mainly ranges that need it, in my opinion. Let alone Zekfir. Zekfir scaling is still off, in my opinion, but we'll have to see when we get more gear. But anyone who got him when Bran was basically killing him for you, kudos. Bran carried y'all. That's good. Blizzard should nerf that fight to help everybody else, since people got it early. The scaling nerf, of course, he needs buffs. Levels on Bran kind of feel meaningless right now. Like, this, I had seen this, and it was 78%, and now it's 76%. After the one thing, I really feel like this dropped. This should be a lot higher. I don't know why he's capped on levels a week. So if someone wants to catch up, with Bran, are they going to be capped as well? Because I've been capped all week. Or like half of the week. Not only do the levels feel meaningless, but I'm like capped on them. Alright? And then the last thing is, where is a curio that makes him tank? Where is one? He needs one of these that literally says Bran will tank for you. Right? Think about this. Melee go into a delve. They can set Bran for healer DPS. They can use the Final Will. It works really good with melee. Melee are dodging normally. That's how melee fight. In dungeons, in raid, out in the world. That's how melee fight. But how do casters fight? Sometimes, most solo players out in the world just fight a mob normal. They don't worry about kiting. But when we get into delves, now you're making range having to kite. Some range are better than others. Some ranges have a pet. I think you give Bran a tank option. Lets casters not have to kite. Melee don't have to do a whole different mechanic. Why do range have to all of a sudden kite? You can be like, oh, range need to learn how to kite. I know how to kite as range. I can do it all. But I'm talking about people just trying to do this and trying to equalize it for the class. If they want to kite and do more damage, that's fine. But if they don't want to have to kite and they just want to have Bran be a tank for them in this solo content, let them. Let them. This is solo content. It gets heroic level gear. They should buff Bran. Do some of these fixes to normalize classes. And in my opinion, balance an 8 for the gear you get. The gear that you're going to have, not the gear you get from an 8. Because here's the thing, you can be like, oh, well, the weekly vault gets you a 606 from tier 7, so just farm tier 7 week to week. How many weeks are in a season? 11? So if I don't get a duplicate piece or bad vaults, I can maybe fill up my set. That makes no sense. No. 8 should be balanced around like 690, maybe even 697. Okay, so it would only be a couple less. You know, I still think it should... The jump from 7 to 8 is odd to me. And the gear you get out of an 8 is the item level it's tuned for. Makes no sense to me. So yeah, fix the scaling on Delve item level, in my opinion. Buff Bran, give us a tank mode, and keep adjusting the delves that need it. Thank y'all for watching. I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye-bye.